WNBC. WNBC. WN.
You want to do the honors today? This is your favorite company. You've been with them since your teens.
My favorite company is the Luca Nation Network. You know? So, guys, yeah. I'll do Tigers. The Tigers, they're like selling like hotcakes, is what they say, you know?
People want to go to the cigar night and they want to reap the benefits of SGC, but really I think they want to be a part of a special community. I think, you know, we talked a little bit offline about this. Like, our people are legit. Awesome community.
Best people in the world.
I took over your intro. Please, pardon me.
No, I mean, that is the intro, right? And you know, today we'll talk a little sports, we'll talk a little cards, and we'll have a good time, man. We'll also talk about the PWCC weekly auction, which, how many items?
14,000.
14,000 items.
56,000 a month.
It's a lot of items. It's a lot of items, but there's a lot of good ones. And this one, what's funny is it kind of runs the gamut across a bunch of sports, a bunch of generations, and you know, everything from soccer and, you know, vintage, modern, you name it. Just a lot of really nice cards in this. Several of them I like to talk about are premier auction worthy. Several of them. Yeah, 100%. I mean, you know, there's a Lebron Refractor Psa 10 in this auction. Rookie. It's currently at $34,000.
Interesting. I thought premier was 20 and up.
Yeah, 20 and up. So this is somebody who didn't want to wait for Premier or just said, you know what, maybe I'll just have the card that gets all the attention in the weekly one. And $34,000. There's a Bird Magic PSA 9.
700 PSA 9s. So anyway, Lucas Tigers Bronze, the best sports card podcast in the world. Comment, share, like. We appreciate all you guys. In a month, we hope to see a ton of you at the National. Very much looking forward to meeting you guys face to face. Now, into the PWCC auction. Let's go through each one of those premier, and then we'll get to kind of where I play in the playground, in the sandbox, the 50 and under.
All right, so we talked about the LeBron. Go on the other end. Eusebio, give me 30 seconds on him. Soccer player.
So I was talking to Uber Collector. We have some fun with him. He helps us. Experienced guy. He's like a Cage Junior. I think that's a compliment for Uber. A Cage Junior. He knows a ton about cards. He's been with cards. He's seen cards. And we were talking about just like which soccer cards to buy in anticipation for the World Cup. I think we're not the only ones thinking like that, Cage. November 21st is the first matches. And I think what's cool with soccer is it's still a developing market. We don't really know what's going to be the true winners, right? We know Pele, Maradona, okay, but we don't know. Like, is it a full-fledged market, or is it, you know, just going to be a niche market over there where baseball and football and basketball still dominate? So I think that's a question. But what I think we know is whenever modern runs, and I do think we think modern's going to have a move in November, vintage soon follows. It's that flight to quality. It's Tyler Hero, well, Oscar Robertson. And we're like, if Oscar Robertson punched you in the street, would you even recognize him? Maybe, maybe not, but there's always going to be a buyer.
Would you recognize Tyler Hero?
Yeah.
It depends on his haircut.
Yeah.
Right? It depends what haircut he has. I mean, if he was rocking the Lloyd Christmas haircut, you might not recognize him. You know? So, Eusebio, I love that. I love that haircut. He's like Lloyd Christmas. So, Eusebio's got a 1963 Panini Calciatore Volita back. Previously, we spoke about it. There was a PSA 7 blank back that's over $34,000 in PSA 7. This is a PSA 8, and it's sitting only at $9,000. I mean, only 9. That's a lot of money. But when you compare the two, you would think with this back and that grade, this one might actually sell for more than that one that's over 34. So
how good was interesting?
I mean, you tell me. You're the soccer guy. I mean, who did he even play for? What country? Did he play for Brazil? Did he play for Germany? Who did he play for?
You know, they speak Portuguese in Brazil.
I did know that.
I bet you did not know that. You knew that?
Of course I knew that because of UFC. There's a lot of great UFC fighters. You know, Anderson Silva from Curitiba, Brazil, speaks Portuguese.
Fight night tonight, right?
Yeah.
Anyone?
Volkanovski is fighting Holloway tonight on a pay-per-view. The main is it's Izzy Adesanya, but I think he's fighting Jared Cannonier. I mean, he's probably going to destroy him. But yeah, a couple. I think that's 2 championship fights on the top. couple of names that I remember from way back in the day. Jim Miller and Cowboy Cerrone fighting each other again. Back in 2014, those guys were a main event. They fought each other they were the main event. But now it's 8 years later, they're still fighting, but they were on the undercard. So
you think their brain cells at that point are just like pooped?
I mean, those guys both bring fights, which is why they're still doing it. I mean, I think Miller's 38 or 39 years old, but they still fight. Like, they still have exciting fights, especially Cerrone. He's usually an exciting fight also. So, but yeah, I mean, the UFC stuff, they still put on a good show, I got to tell you. So 733 goals in 745 matches from
he was a Portuguese player that played like a Brazilian. Honestly, if you put him on the Brazil national team, he would fit right in. He was crafty, he was skilled, one of the best of all time. My dad loves how he plays, and it's Ted Williams. These guys, like, that's who comes to mind. These vintage baseball players. I think 63 is the card. Oscar Robertson, like, that's the category I put these guys in. Maybe not everyone knows, but a certain group of big-time collectors with money grew up watching these guys play. So that's where I put Eusebio.
So let me swing you right back to 2003. And you could pull this up if you like, but this is the guy who you think should get more respect than he gets in one of his coolest rookie cards. I would say maybe his second best card. So put in 2003 Dwyane Wade. All right.
We're back to Wade. Wade and Shaq. We can't let him live, right?
You love Dwyane Wade, right? You brought him up. So 2003 Dwyane Wade. I love those cold English chips over there. So it's an authentic, right? Which is fine. I mean, it is what it is. A lot of these things have authentic. But look at that limited logos patch. Patch auto out of 75. It's authentic, obviously, PSA stuff. But it's sitting at $2,800. $2,800 for a exquisite, I would say the second best rookie from that year, right? I mean, it's not LeBron, but you guys know what the LeBron sells for.
Chris Bosh, actually, Cage. Thanks for asking.
No way, $2,800 for the Dwyane Wade. This is a sick card with a nice little patch on it out of 75. Pretty cool.
Can I ask something?
Yeah.
Limited logo. So the way I understand limited logos, it's exquisite to limited logos is National Treasures to Flawless.
No. Limited logos is part of exquisite.
Okay.
It's sort of like, National Treasures has a couple of different autos in it. Well, Flawless has like a vertical patch as opposed to like a horizontal patch. Or, like the National Treasures set has the horizontal RPA, which is just the standard one, which is what Exquisite has, the RPA out of 99, the LeBron that everybody knows about, the Wade that everybody knows about. Then it also has a second set in it, the limited logo set. And that's what that set is. They're from the same thing. It's just a different release, a different autograph in it. So, there's a patch auto called like Colossal, right? Or something like that also. Okay. So think of it like that, right? Like it's a colossal patch. So maybe this is limited logos like that,
I like how it looks. I mean, I don't know how, like, aesthetic is pretty important to me, especially now. Yep. Like in a down market, you want to buy. I mean, on any market, you want to buy aesthetic, but I like the way it looks. All right, let's keep rocking. So Eusebio, Wade, next.
So swing it over to baseball. A card that I personally own. This is not mine, but I have the same card.
Pete Alonso, PSA 10.
Mike Trout is having a good year. He's staying healthy. He's got 20-something home runs, playing well. He had a little bit of a slump there, but I mean, one of the things coming into the year was Mike Trout. Everybody thinks he's going to be one of the all-time greats, but he's got to stay on the field. He's got to put up numbers. He's doing it. He's staying on the field. He's putting up numbers. Remember in 2011, there was no chrome. They have the diamond parallel, but there was gold. Gold's numbered by the year, so it's numbered out of 2011. Those things chip like crazy on the corners and the edges. Not that many. Last I looked, there were 50 PSA 10s. This is one of them. Right. And this particular card here, I mean, it's currently bid at $11,000. I know the last one to sell sold for more than that. And there are not enough of these to go around for the demand for Mike Trout. I like the diamond. The diamond's shiny. It's as close to chrome looking as you get. A lot more of the diamonds in PSA 10, a lot than the gold. The gold's just an interesting card. So, baseball season's going on. Mike Trout, he's having a heck of a season. Swing it back, vintage basketball. What do you think of off-centered cards? With the OC designation on it, you stay away from them. You think maybe if there's enough of a bargain, because there's a 57 Topps Bill Russell rookie in 8 off-centered. So that means the corners are sharp, the coloring sharp. You don't have any kind of crease on it. And that's a card that's, a lot of them are off-center anyway, but this one is off-center enough to get it off-center designation. Is a card like this where, there are 4s, 5s, 6s, and 7s that are off-centered without the OC. What does an 8, off-center sell for as opposed to an 8, a 7, you name it?
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about off-center, Cage. I thought what do you make of the designation? You've been in the game. Would you buy an off-center? And what?
There are a lot of people stay away from them.
Point compared to the 8, would you buy it? I think is maybe a better way to word that.
Yeah, a lot of people stay away from them. I will tell you, when I was, growing up, before any of the crazy hobby statistics and, data and the whole deal, the rule of thumb, at least the one that was taught to me, was designations, they carry the value of a card 2 to 3 grades below the same card without a designation. So an 8 would be a 5 or 6. So I know that's a rule of thumb that's different for different cards. But if you take a look at this particular card, this Bill Russell, it's a really nice card. You could tell that it's off-center. And what's funny is it's off-center really top to bottom. The left to right is off-center, but I've seen cards without the off-center designation in this particular card. Way more off-center than this. And it's not the same with every card. Look, a card like this, if it was a 2021 or 2022 release that was off-center like this, fine. But this card from 57, almost all of them are off-center. You know what I mean? Like those cards, they just came off-centered, So I think there'd be a little more, I don't want to say forgiving on it, but I'd be curious, how much somebody, how much a 5 sells for, and whether or not you start to get, that's a cool one too. But you never know how many autographs are out there and the like. But I like this card. I personally, if we're being honest, which we try to do, I usually stay away from off-centered cards. But this might be one that, ones that have the designation. But this might be one I would look at just because, you can pull up pictures of this card. There are cards that are this off-centered in this particular card where they don't have a designation on it. This said,
that one clearly is. You could tell.
I'm telling you, dude. It's not that hard for you to find cards this off-centered that are not. They don't have the designation. I think this one it's because it's an 8. I had extra. It had extra folks looking at it. Do you know how many 8s there are? You know how many 9s there are this card just because there's no centering? There's no 10s. There's 3 9s. Right? There's 48 8s. There's, I think, 2 8.5s. And there's 38s with the qualification. It's just, it's an interesting
off-center sticks out like a sore thumb.
Well, that's the flip side, right?
East Coast on, and he said he's buying right now things he loves, but he does understand that there is a buyer down the road that can come and get it. I don't know that big money plays in off-centered. That's my opinion.
I think you're probably right.
I'm allowed to have that, right?
Yeah, no, 100%. But here's my question for you, right? All right. At what point does the off-center become a bargain? All right. So this is currently sitting at $4,200. $4,200.
$4,200 is not a bargain. Maybe in your world, at church with that polo shirt. Sorry, I'm 14 minutes in. I was still holding it in. Don't be mad at me.
I'm not mad. Bargain is relative, right? If you're in the market for this card, right? An 8 off-center is $4,200. Obviously, it's buyer premium and it's an auction. It may go up. What do you think a 5 sells for now? A 5.
$3,500.
The last 2 5s sold for $11,100 and $11,600.
What?
So now this off-centered 8 is at $4,200. What do you think a 4 sells for?
You just took Andrew to school.
What do you think? So, but it's just the difference between a bargain. I know it's not a bargain. That's a lot of money, but a bargain by comparison. What do you think fours sell for? The last two fours sold for $7,500 and $8,000. $8,600 before that, right? This is half the price of a 4, right? It's an 8, but it's an 8 off-centered. The last 3. So,
Luca Nation, if you're listening to this episode, in the comments, guess the final price of that. Slab Stocks does a fun little post with it. Have you seen his post on IG? Like, guess the final price. Guess the final price in the comments. I'm gonna pick one of you guys.
I'm with you, man.
Cool. I mean, got a little giveaway. I don't know what I'm gonna give away. I have a hunch I might give this one away. It's a Joe Dimaggio game worn jersey card.
The last couple of 2s sold for over $7,000, by the way. 7. Yes. This is a $4,200 for an 8. Would you rather have a 2 or an 8 off center? That's now where we are. That's the game
final price. This is exciting. You go ahead though. Where do you think this ends? It's $4,200. Where do you think it ends, Cage?
I don't know. I would say, given those comps, I would say it probably ends around 10.
10. Okay. So guys, let me pull up the card. This is fun. We've never done this.
And by comparison, the last 2 8s without the off center sold for over $200,000.
So this is the card. This 1957 tops, old PSA slab, 8 off center right here. Cage guessed 10. Are you gonna put 10 with anything else? 10-1, 10-2,
10-8,
10,800. I'm saying 8,800. 88.
Okay.
8,888. And the rule is you can't go over, right? So if it's like 11,000, you win.
Yep. Right. But if it's 9,500, you win.
In the comments, you guys have to guess. You have to put it in the comments before it ends tomorrow night. You have 24 hours, basically. Probably a little bit longer. Cool.
Works for me. Hey, we all love dual autos. One of the coolest dual autos that was ever made is out there. 1994 Upper Deck Mantle Griffey. It's cards are 7. The autos are 10s. I mean, talk about one of those cool cards that just, you see it, you know what it is.
No one cares about the grade. Well, they care about the grade on that card, but like it's one of those where you just want
to make sure the autos. Yeah, you want to make sure the autos are nice though, and they are.
Mantle. Would you like to own this card?
Yeah, that's a nice card. And there are different versions of this too. There are ones that just Mantle signed. There are ones that just Griffey signed. The dual is really nice. It's a real cool card. Somebody like me, especially, I grew up watching Griffey, and Mantle obviously is, the Yankees. So it's got a cool little, connection for me as well. All right, so back to vintage, same genre, same era, but the exact flip side. We talked about the Bill Russell being off-centered and valued right now at a price of like a 2 for an 8 off-center. There is a 1949 Bowman Jackie Robinson rookie in PSA 5.5. This one has the eye appeal designation on it. Okay? So this one, the discussion is with the Bill Russell, how much of a discount do you take off for something that's got an off-center designation? For this, what premium do you give for a Jackie Robinson card that is really nice looking? Top 15% PWCC E eye appeal. Like, this is a gorgeous card.
Well, can I tell you why I think that they gave that grade?
Sure.
So first off, this is freshly graded, but I think this is called tell me and I'll tell you. The
registration.
Color, the registration and the centering on this one.
Centering's perfect.
It's perfect. It's literally the best centering you could find on a 70-year-old card. This is incredible, and it's vivid. It's bright. It's a beautiful copy.
The red pops, right? It really is a very nice card.
This is a copy. So you know how there's different tiers of investors or collectors? There are the guys that just have an insane 6-7 figure collection, but this is a card that would be revered in anybody's collection, and I think it's fairly attainable. I don't know where it ends, but even 20K, there's people that have that money. That's a beautiful card. That's an amazing card.
So now what's funny about that is we talked about how the 8 off center is going to be priced like a 4 or a 3, right? The most recent sale of a 6 in this card was $7,700. And this one is a 5.5 with eye appeal, and it's already basically over $10,000. The eye appeal goes up
right now when I'm playing checkers. It's incredible.
Well, this is the 2022 conversation, the eye appeal of these vintage cards. And you're right to bring up Kobe East Coast, right? Because you have to think about there's going to be a buyer of the cards that I have one day, and he or she is going to be able to put several Jackie Robinson 49 Bowmans in front of them. This 5.5 is going to look better than some 6s. Is it going to look better than 7s? Because the last 7 sold for $20,724. So does the 5.5? The last
6 was 77. The last
77.20. The last 7 was 20,000.
That's a big vig. For a lot of cards, 6 and 7 is. You know that like the blind taste test of Pepsi, Diet Pepsi, Coke.
Here's the thing: Jackie's kind of run, and that last 6 was almost a year ago.
No, but let's say you took 100 people, you found 6s and 7s of that card. I bet they would be interchangeable. That's one of those grades where it's not that easy to differentiate.
Yeah, I'm with you.
That's but 5.5. PSA doesn't give out halves very often either.
No. I mean, 5.5. The last time 5.5 sold, by the way, was in April of this year, and it sold for $11,700 for a 5.5. Crazy, right? Jackie's running. Jackie Robinson's running. 631774. Yeah, I mean that's a recent graded one too, with nice registration as well. Pretty crazy. You can get it all on the PSA website. You can see the cards, you can see the comps, you can see the sale prices, and the whole 9 yards. So this card's really nice looking. I mean, this is one. If you're a Jackie buyer, that's a nice one. Very nice. 86 Fleer sticker, Michael Jordan rookie auto. A signed 86 Fleer sticker. Interesting, right? See that one? 86 Fleer sticker signed by Jordan.
Pulling it up now.
Crazy stuff, right? Pretty cool, right? Something different. You don't see this card signed by him too. I mean, you don't see too many cards signed by him at all, but you don't see this card signed too often. What do you think?
I'm on mute. I apologize. Sorry. I love it, dude. I like these types of cards. I like autos on iconic cards.
See, like this particular one, I'm not a huge signed in person, card. This is cool to me because you see cards signed all the time. I don't remember the last time I saw this rookie sticker signed by him. That's a pretty cool little change. Let's see what else we got. Are you a Herbert fan going into the season? You said he looked good. You like his muscles. You want to pull up a really cool Herbert card? 2020 Panini Contenders Optic. Blue. Justin Herbert. Rookie auto out of 75. It is a PSA 10 team color match. Pop 8. I think it's a cooler looking design for Contenders than the one that just came out. I think the 2020 looks a little nicer than the one that just came out. Look at this card. Currently sitting at $7,500 for Herbert. That is pretty inexpensive. Take a look at that. What do you think of that one, man? PSA 10. Got the match of the colors. Nice card, right?
I'm a fan.
You're a fan. That's really all that matters. And you want to talk about Herbert? You were checking out his biceps, you were checking out his guns, so you think he's gonna have a good season because he worked out a little?
Well, you're just like rifling off cards at me, and I can't afford any of these cards. I don't know what you want me to say right now. Like, oh, hey, check out this one. It's 4,200. Hey, this one is 7,700.
Well, I mean, we are in an interesting spot.
Oh, it's July 1st. You got paid. It's payday for kids.
But we're in a tough spot, man. You do your dumpster diving on PWCC, and I don't know if we want to talk about the cards you like. Because I don't know if you want the competition. You want people bidding on the ones? Don't you like stealing your $18 Shaqs and stuff?
I want to give people strategy. And
without giving a specific card, why don't you tell folks what you've been doing the last couple of weeks in this weekly auction?
Well, Cage, there are no specific cards. I favorited like every single card under $50. And here's my thought process. Guys, there's 14,000 cards. It's the 4th of July weekend. It's leading up to National where people are conserving money. We talk about opportunities, right? And when the market is good, okay, you buy something, you buy Trey Silver, you hold it, you flip it, $1,800. Boom, you take your wife out to a nice seafood dinner and never call her again. Amazing. But
wait, you take your wife out to a seafood dinner and never call her? That was some bad seafood. Right,
that's a very bad seafood. But in this market, you got to work. You really do got to work. And every single one of those cards, bullshitting aside, is a great deal and a great thing to just watch the price. And Cage gave you all his analysis. But I think with 14,000 cards every single week, you could use PWCC the way we used to use eBay. You know, eBay, we never wanted to end auctions on a Monday, right?
Yep.
But people still did. And you got steals. You never want to end auctions at like 8 a.m. in the morning, right? But people still did. And the people that are willing to wake up and put in the work, they're able to get deals, steals, and opportunities that others aren't. So I think right now, this market rewards the hustler. And really, how much of a hustle is it, Cage, to lay on your back and to open an app and look?
Yeah. Well, I mean, also, you know, what you're saying is the people listening to us don't fall into this category, right? Because clearly they're putting in the work. But it is a holiday weekend. It is Sunday night, July 3rd. People are probably going to be doing fireworks and whatnot. They're getting ready. They're preparing. They're cleaning their house, whatever the story is. So there may be a chance for you to, you know, slide in under the radar here on some of the bargain cards that you're talking about, you know? So I am completely with you.
Don't chase. Place bids. Because here's what you guys will find. If you place a lot of bids, it takes time. There are some cards that actually won't even get bid on in extended bidding. No one's going to bid against you because it isn't possible to look through 14,000 cards. I mean, it is, but it isn't. Like, it's a lot of cards. And I think it complements the PWCC they were, you know, from where they started to where they are now. You know, in seconds, let's say those cards are over, you buy them, they're in your vault in seconds. You can have them shipped and in your house by Thursday. So PWCC's done an amazing job, and it really rewards a buyer right now. And I'm not saying, you know, buy these base cards. There are beautiful 8s, 9s, 10s that are ending up under $100 that right now is the opportunity to go and put in the work and spend time and mess around with all the different filters. What I think is so actually the best part is the tech. It's how easy it is to filter on all of the features. You know, okay, I want to only look at basketball cards from 1996 to 2013, under $65 bid. I mean, I think that's pretty cool. So highly encourage it. Spend time, play around. It's what I do a ton. Maybe we'll be bidding against each other. Maybe we won't. But at the end of the day, it's I've gotten some of the coolest cards I've ever owned right from there in the last week. So this is an actual testimony of what I'm doing.
Yeah, man. I mean, there's a lot of good cards.
You want me? And can I tell you? You know, like I don't know the exact quote, but it's like opportunity rewards the hustler. So spending a ton of time on PWCC, there's that little navigating bar that shows you the recent purchases or the recent bids, right?
Yep.
Cage, look what came up. Look at this card. Now,
is that Rubies?
Rubies Wayne Gretzky PSA 10. Now it's from 2013. Okay, it's like the Rubies retro. Okay, Rubies, which was 96, 2013. It came out similar to what happened with PMG, right? PMG was 90s, but then they did the retro set in 2013. Same deal. But you have a PSA 10 of the GOAT for $625. Now I don't know where this ends. But I think this is one of those that maybe at National you could trade from something really, really nice. You might be able to pick up under 1,000 just because maybe somebody's not looking at it. Maybe they're at fireworks and no one's going to bid against you in extended bidding. So I don't know where this ends. It's a really difficult card to price out. But there are cards like that all over the place if you're able to put in the work. and find them. Gage is impressed.
I am. And listen, I like where you're going with it, right? And I know you're finding cool cards. I mean, World Cup, there's everything on here. You know, you want to talk about soccer, you talk about there's a Pulisic, you know, your Captain America, Kaboom. I didn't even know a guy had a Kaboom. And it's a Kaboom PSA 10. Take a look at it. Cool card. PSA 10 Kaboom. What does that do in you know when it comes down to it, when World Cup is happening and everybody's talking about the Team America? You got Captain America, PSA 10 Kaboom.
Pulisic and Reyna were the two guys that I said I would be personally looking at. I don't know if I spelled that right. Okay, cool.
Yep.
What else is really cool, Cage? Sorry to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
As you're playing around with this, right, and you do it week after week after week, you get a little bit of a pulse of the market too, by kind of like a secondary benefit. What I mean by that is, you see here, there's only 8 sales of Pulisic cards. Okay, I searched earlier, only 9 Haaland. Let's go Luka Doncic just for shits and giggles. Okay. 72 cards of Luka for sale. Give me another guy.
Kobe.
77. Give me another one, Cage.
Kobe. That's your guy.
Kobe. 167. LeBron.
A lot of Kobe.
Thank you. 185. So we could go on and on and on and on. I'll go back to Pulisic. But, Cage, why do you think I did that exercise?
It shows you what people are selling and what people are holding on to. You know, Pulisic only has 8 on there. You know, there's not going to be a ton of it available. And if you walk into National with it, probably people are holding them, people looking to buy that stuff. Whereas LeBron market, Kobe market, Luka, there's a lot more people selling that stuff.
And what are we really trying to do? Okay, so there's the collector aspect, buy what you love, all that. So we put that in one bucket. Good, got it. Check. But we're also trying to solve for supply and demand, right? Scarcity. Well, if you're navigating and spending time and doing the work, you're going to become educated on the supply side. And then all you really have to do is solve for demand. And it gives you such a leg up on competition. And you know what else gives you a leg up? Listening to this show, because we are doing it. You know, other people do shows, I've learned, and they're not in the weeds. They're not even in cards. They're telling you to get battery packs and water to bring to a show. How can people who are not in the weeds help you become a better investor, hobbyist, whatever? So I really urge you to spend time, because whether you buy anything or not, the benefits are going to outweigh the effort.
I mean,
strays, people
I can't argue with you. There are some cool cards. You know what one of my favorite things to do with this is? I got to tell you, there's cards on here.
Cage spent a day at a barbecue with family, a lot of peaceful, a lot of, you know, everyone's really nice. He comes on the show 10 p.m. Andrew just taking shots at random people. He has to.
It's all right. You never know what you're going to find on here. Do you remember how much Trae Young silver PSA 10s were selling for going into last season?
$3,500. I'll never forget it.
And what about a blue out of 199? What do you think that was going to go for?
44.
You know? Good. So there is one in this auction. A blue Trae 2018. It's at $850 right now. PSA 10 Trae Prism out of 199.
I'll tell you, man. I would fully expect them to come out hungry and to start really, really, really hot. It's the same effect. Can't think of it, but long layoff to new pieces to a little bit of a point to prove is a very dangerous formula early in the NBA season. Very dangerous formula. So I'm not a big trade believer, but I do think that first 30 games, if you look back at how Atlanta started last year, they're going to want to make a point and say, let's not dig out of that hole again. I expect them to come out hot. I really do.
I mean, I love it. So one of the things we were talking about with National Treasures, right? And there's different versions and a limited logo, Dwyane Wade. You want to take a look at something for me? Just bear with me here, okay? Because I think this is, you know, a perfect example. It's not something that I personally was looking for, but I just, while we were talking, while Andrew was taking his shots, I'm just kind of scrolling here. I put a couple of search functions in, and I use the power buyer feature, right? Which is cards that are in there in the auction that are, underpriced basically versus the appraisal given on the card. So if you wouldn't mind, 2017 National Treasures Tatum. If you search for that for me, 2017. Now we know 2017 National Treasures Tatum. That's his rookie year. Now we've seen what the RPA out of 99 goes for, right? It's a lot of money. Good condition ones, I think, we're selling for 6 figures. So this is not the vertical RPA, but it is a rookie patch auto out of 99 for Jason Tatum. From the same year, it's BGS 9.5. There's 13 BGS 9.5s, and it's $750 for a Tatum National Treasures RPA. $750. What do you think of that, dude? Look at this thing.
Okay. I was hoping you would ask. So this is called a collision of elements. So let's break this down as a scientist would. BGS. Mm-hmm. We've never been lower on BGS than we are now.
Correct.
Combine that with an auto that's a little bit onto like the words, right? Mm-hmm. Combined with a single color napkin. Sorry, I said patch. Napkin. Yep. To a horizontal slab. So it's interesting. When you're newer in the hobby, you're like, oh, $750. Oh, that's a good deal. It has all of those things going against it. 4 things. And it's hard to kind of get around those things. Now,
$750.
It gives opportunity for someone who's a Boston guy who missed the boat on him the first time and is like, I'm all in on Tatum. Now you have an opportunity because you own the card despite all of that other stuff, which is superficial in nature, I guess you could say. Fair?
Very fair. I mean, listen, it shows the example of, the difference between the RPA that everybody's chasing. It's a very good example of supply and demand, right? Because here it is, another RPA out of 99 from the same National Treasure set, and it's $750. Where I think the RPA in the same grade, the vertical one, probably sells for 100 times that. Another example, it's only a BGS 9, but has a 10 auto. There is a Panini Contenders Finals ticket, Tatum rookie auto out of 49. It's awesome looking. Gold. Card's a 9 with a 10 auto. If you were to pull that one up, $725 for a Finals ticket, Tatum rookie auto Contenders. I mean, just there's a lot of stuff in here that you just don't, that's one of those cards. If Tatum, goes back and does what people are thinking they're going to do.
I like this card.
I mean, these are nice cards, right? And they're not, Tatum's top stuff is selling for a lot more than what these things are selling for. So it's interesting. And they're not cards. I was looking for you guys to know how I feel about Tatum, but I feel differently about Tatum at these prices for these cards. Rookie Contenders auto out of 49 with a 10 auto, and RPA from National Treasures. I mean, these are really nice cards.
This is an interesting one. This is a very interesting one. That's
a
one
cool card, right?
I would consider cracking because it's a little ding on the corner, a little ding on the edge, and they got a 9 edge, 9 corner. But really, you bump at 295 subs. You really bump that. You get BGS to review it. Is it a BGS 9.5? And now you're talking a completely different category. So it's like the 0.5 away. But I'll tell you, can I give you a theory I have on Panini?
Sure.
I think Fanatics taking over will actually be the greatest thing for Panini because it'll get them out of the bullseye. Right now, there's so much scrutiny. Every card, everyone flips over. Game worn, player worn. No one gives a fuck, really, at the end of the day. They just give a fuck because right now, everyone's telling them that game worn is the thing. No more cursing? You have headphones in. You can't hear you.
There was a few there, but no, it's all right. I mean,
dude, it's 10:42. This is what I do. This is why I'm in bed by 9 p.m.
Okay, that's fine. You're allowed. Go for it. Keep going. You're passionate. You're passionate. That's all. Very passionate.
Did you see Gary Vee's post about Airline tickets being NFTs?
No.
Okay, we'll talk about that when it's not a sponsor episode. Back to PWCC.
His hair in his recent post, his hair is getting wild.
Well, we need to invite him to cigar night to ease that stress. I will give him one of my special cigars, not one of Cage's. Anyway, PWCC, back to your regularly scheduled programming.
Yeah. All right, then. All right. I mean, listen, that's a lot of fun. It's good stuff. I don't know what else to tell you there. Guys, listen, peruse. I'm not saying you got to buy these things because, you know, what I consider inexpensive is still a lot of money. But, you know, there are some really cool cards. There's a dual Mike Trout Ohtani gold-framed auto. I mean, just a really cool thing out of 5. There's a 2019 Immaculate Collection Scorers Club Steph Curry auto out of 10. It's a BGS 8.5, but it's $575. It's a sick-looking card, right? So I'm not opening up the auction looking for these things, but every page of the auction, I'm like, wow, that's another cool card. You're a Burrow fan? You know those Panini Prestige, like the passport-looking ones? There's a cool Burrow one that looks like, you know, it's like his driver's license with an auto on it, with a cool SGC, you know, 10 auto. I mean, there's just cards I didn't even know existed. Shoot.
Aaron Judge.
Yes.
Should I be buying him right now?
No.
Too late?
And I'll tell you why. No, it's not too late. It's so... The thing is, Judge's cards are priced now like he's going to be able to do what he's doing now for a long period of time. And I don't believe he will. He's huge. He will break down. He's playing center field. He's not going to be able to play center field. His track record shows that he is capable of doing this. Remember his rookie year where he should have won the Rookie of the Year and the MVP, but Altuve cheated his way to getting that over him.
Did he really?
Yeah, I mean, well, you would think he did. I mean, he wouldn't take his jersey off. I think it's because there was a buzzer on under it. Whatever. It's the Houston.
Signals, so he
exactly
needed the steel signals to hit as well as
Altuve
Judge.
Got the MVP. Judge did not. I think mostly because Altuve was in the league for many, many years, and they figure, oh, Judge will have his turn to win the MVP. We can give it to Altuve now. But Judge never did anything like hit those. I think he had 52 home runs that year. But now he's doing it again. But that was
what? He should have made him do a home run derby for the MVP winner. Altuve versus David versus Goliath.
But if they would let Aroldis Chapman pitch to them, Altuve would have won. So, you know, it's interesting stuff, man. It is what it is. But no, I think he's – if I had his cards, which I don't, but if I had his cards, I'd be selling. I'd be selling.
Let's reverse that statement. If you didn't have this guy's cards, I would be buying. Insert player name right there.
You mean somebody who I think is undervalued right now? I don't know the answer to that question. I don't know.
You want me to go first?
You want to limit it to yeah, please. And then I could come up with a sport or something.
So if I've learned anything from Mr. Cage, it's be prepared to sell into strength. Don't be going after someone when everyone else is going after them. And to not do that, you have to reverse kind of their thinking. You have to ask the question, who is everyone going after and why? Everyone's going after World Cup soccer players right now. Right? We know the World Cup is 4 or 5 months away. Yep. They're not selling them, as you can see Pulisic, right?
Yep.
9 cards available. 72 Lucas. So they're not selling the guys that are going to be at the World Cup. But who's not going to be at the World Cup? Haaland. But you know where he will be? He chose, unlike Mbappe, to go play for the biggest league in the world. Mbappe is in the French league. Haaland is going to be in the Prem. Do you know how good Man City was this year, Cage?
Very.
Do you know how fantastic they're going to be next year with what I think is the best soccer player we've seen since Messi?
I mean, I think they'll probably be as good as a championship-level team adding a former MVP type player, like the Lakers adding Russell Westbrook.
I thought you were going to say Warriors adding Durant. It's literally that, dude.
Lakers adding Westbrook. I agree. I mean, we're going to see what happens with that. We'll see how that experiment works out. What do you think?
Why are you trying to take me? Of course, I'm adding alpha. I'm seeking alpha here. So think about that, guys. This is KD going to the Warriors, but without all of the stigma and negativity that it came with it. They're gonna break goal scoring records. He's gonna break goal scoring records if he stays healthy. Everything's set up. There's no other team, maybe Liverpool, that could even compete with those guys. And without Haaland, they dominated this year. So think about that and think about.
I like that. I like it. I'm gonna go a different way because you hate him and you think he's just completely unbuyable. But I buy Kevin Durant right now.
I agree. I hate him. I think he's viable because of what you're low. What's the downside? We already know everything about him.
It's a risk reward, and if he gets traded, you got a whole new fan base, a whole new team. What if he goes to the Suns and plays with Chris Paul and wins a championship?
The guy's been passed around more than Kim Kardashian.
Well, the difference is, and listen, let's do a nice little fun LeBron Durant comparison. LeBron has switched teams, but he went to a Cavs team that was terrible, and he won a championship there. He went to a Lakers team that was not very good, and he won a championship there. He went to a Miami team, which the year before was not very good, but obviously give credit where it's due. That was a super team. But everywhere he's gone, he's brought a championship. When Durant wants to get traded, he wants to get traded to a team that was already basically a 1 seed and was already a winning team. He wants to go to the Suns. He went to the team that had 70 wins. It's pretty different.
In the recent weeks, people talk to this guy. They trust him with their lives. I don't know. Maybe they think you're a lawyer or something like that. You remember you said something to me, you're like, who is advising this person?
Yeah.
Who is advising Durant? Because
that was the one where it's like, stop talking,
Yes. Who is advising this guy to make decisions? Because the last 6 moves he's made have maybe been worse, each one after another.
Yeah, he keeps talking. And he keeps talking too. He goes on social media, he keeps talking. But if you wanted to buy his Chrome rookie in PSA 10, you know how much it sells for now? This was a 4-figure card, easy every single day. $430 it's at right now. There's one here. That's what it's been.
This is where I do wish Gary would own his L's. If he was a true hobbyist. Is that bad to say?
You're right. He really hammered Durant. Wait till he comes and he drops 50 points. Wait till his first game where he scores 50 points. People are going to go nuts for his cards. The cards went up, but Durant, the Nets experiment was an utter and complete failure. A failure. But I think you're looking at a guy who has very little downside now in the card prices, which is exactly what you were talking about.
Who has a more accomplished career, Giannis or KD? Someone DM me that. That's the kind of DMs we get. We talk NBA.
Right now, KD, but Giannis has a lot more time to pass him. I think I'd be betting on Giannis right now because I don't know what KD does. Although KD, if he's he might sneak one out. We talked about another card, by the way, a guy who's got low expectations. The cards have been beat up, and I don't know whether this is an investable card anymore. But remember, you said $3,500 was the price for the Trey Silver. By the way, I think I got more than that for a couple of them. The Trey Silver PSA 10. There's one at auction right now, ending tomorrow. $420 is currently bid. Pretty crazy. Pretty crazy.
I don't know if silver will ever come back. Remember that ship that got stuck in the Nile? That's a tough one to push because there's just so many silvers. And if you're like, I'm going to go for the silver, you just go for a parallel. You just go, if you're already going there, you just go a bit more up. No, but just on Durant, big picture, it's sad because he might be the best talent that ever really came in the NBA from an offensive standpoint. He's T-Mac, but built like Sean Bradley. I know they say 7'1", but dude, it looks like he's 7'6" out there with how long his arms are. But with offensive game, it's the most insane package, and I'm just shocked at how he's butchered his career.
What do you think about Marcus Smart? Do you think he's just cardboard relevant? Do you think he made himself finally cardboard relevant with Defensive Player of the Year last year? Or you think the Celtics are a team that's going to make some runs the next couple of years and he becomes relevant or not, or no? You think he's just completely cardboard irrelevant?
Fleer metal, Gary Payton. Metal shredders. Apparently people don't love that metal shredders insert for whatever reason. doesn't get a lot of love. And this is basically Marcus Smart's ceiling.
Gary Payton. But what if the card is, and if you want to look this one up, you ready for this? 2014 National Treasures RPA out of 99, PSA 10, pop 1 of 1. I would say, barring an actual 1 of 1, Marcus Smart's best card with today's environment. A 2014 National Treasures out of 99, the true, real RPA, the one everybody wants, in a PSA 10 for a thick card. You don't get those that often. Pop 1 of 1, and it's $390 right now.
I mean, Cage, let me tell you, the enclosed player warrant, even in 2014, COVID was stopping Panini from getting game used jerseys. It's a bet. It's a bet, man. It's a bet. You're betting on this guy just consistently improving and carving out some kind of niche, maybe. No, man, I don't know. It's tough. It's tough. I don't know how to play that. You have to create demand around him. Who is buying Marcus Smart? Like 17 people?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. You'd be betting that more than 17 people will be buying, and if they do start coming out of the woodwork, that's a card they're going to look for, though. Like, if you think he starts, go ahead.
And if you're collecting Marcus Smart, do you care if it's a PSA 10?
I mean, yeah. RPA out of 99, that's a cool one. Because there's 99 of them, but only one that's a PSA 10. It's pretty cool.
Hotshot just graded. I could get it for you. A 1 of 1 game worn Buster Posey.
Yeah, he loves Buster Posey.
It got an XT95. I honestly think it looks better for like a PC item. It looks nicer in that slab, in my opinion. And it's a 95. I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. All right, one last one for you guys to look at here. I don't want to give away all the secrets, and I don't. Maybe I'll stumble on a card that Andrew's looking at. I think this is a real non-starting topic of conversation, but everybody's talking about the 84 star, versus the Fleer cards, the whole deal. Well, 86 Fleer is a lot of guys' quote-unquote rookie cards. And people will talk about, PSA is going to grade the Jordan now from 84, 85. Well, the year before Jordan came out, Portland drafted a guy and then didn't draft Michael Jordan because they had this guy on their roster. They wound up taking Sam Bowie. Big mistake, and set Portland back. But Clyde Drexler was on that team. Great player, you name it. And his 86 Fleer sells for a pretty penny. There is in this auction, and maybe there are other ones you can take a look at, but there's an 83-84 star Clyde Drexler rookie in BGS 9. Not a lot of high grades of those star cards. It looks the same as the 84-85 Jordan, red border, same kind of stuff. Really nice centering on it. It's just one of those, interesting plays to make. Everybody's talking about buying the star Jordan. What is this card if it's one of the highest graded PSA Drexler rookies, and it's currently sitting at $350?
He's too far down, Cage. He's too far down. Where would you put him? Top 50?
I mean, not top 75. But let's do a comparison, and you hit the nail on the head. You did. Because you know what else is in this auction at less than $350? Currently at $330?
Tell me.
Two of them. 1997 Topps Chrome Tim Duncan rookie in a PSA 10. PSA 10 Duncan's current bid $330, and there's two of them. So you're right. You hit the nail on the head. He's too far down the list because Duncan, in some regards, people definitely put him in the top 15. Some people put him in their top 10 all time, but it doesn't make a difference. Partly because he's a big man, partly because he's boring, partly because who the hell knows why. But $330 right now, bid for the Duncan cards. It's pretty crazy how base has kind of taken a little bit of a dive. But it is what it is.
It's all about the base.
It's all about that base.
Have an amazing 4th of July. Happy bidding. Enjoy it. Browse. I got hats off to PWCC and what they've done from a standpoint of, hey, just sit at home. So easy. Download the app and browse and look at super sick cards, high resolution photos. You can zoom in and you know exactly what you're getting. And even if you don't buy, you see cards on there that truly you would not be able to see that many cards if you went to a show. It's a virtual show.
100%. And think about it, guys. We could have ended this episode 30 minutes ago, but I just continue to scroll one page after another and find another card to talk about every time. So this is what happens. This is what happens with PWCC. There's a lot of cards on here. And I easily, during the course of this episode, while scrolling, saw a half dozen cards that I didn't even know existed. It's crazy.
See you guys tomorrow.
Thank you all for listening to another episode of Lucas, Tigers, and Bronzo Mai. I wanted to tell you about a new service that we have starting as of today, and I'm really, really excited to bring it to you guys. So as a part of our partnership with SGC, we got 50 free submissions every single month, and many of you have taken advantage of that. And it's amazing that we could have the opportunity to 650 episodes, 675 episodes in, to go ahead and give back to our community. As people were sending those cards in, they asked, can we send 5, 10, 20 more cards to you guys? We'll pay for it, but we wanted them graded with SGC. You guys know SGC is turning cards around in 13 to 14 business days, have incredible customer service, and their secondary market values are going up day after day after day. And that's exciting for the hobby and exciting for the grading landscape. So we didn't want to just rush into it. We wanted to do it right. And what we did was I relocated here to Boca Raton, Florida. I opened up a P.O. box maybe 5 minutes away from SGC, and I will be hand delivering and hand picking up the cards. So you don't have to worry about anyone else touching your cards. It will be me, and I will update you every step of the way. So here's how it's going to work. I'm going to personally pick up the cards from a P.O. box, prep them, new card saver, new penny sleeve, and deliver them to SGC every single Tuesday. Why Tuesday? Well, it lets the stragglers over the weekend come back through on Monday and gives me a day to prep, and it basically gives SGC the entire week to work on grading those cards. Once your cards pop, only then at the end of the process will you be paying for the service. It's $25 per card, simple as that, and the turnaround times have never been faster. We're hearing right now 13, 14, less than 20 business days. So there it is. 9170 Glades Road, number 135 is the P.O. Box in Boca Raton, Florida, 33434. 9170 Glades Road, number 135, Boca Raton, Florida, 33434. Of course, you could shoot me an email or shoot me a text anytime, and I'm always available. Many of you already have my email. It's iamandrewgoldberg@gmail.com. or my cell phone number, 215-519-9154. Reach out with any questions. I could walk you through the process. I've hopped on the call with quite a few of you, and I'm happy to do that. Love you, Luca Nation.